not a fluffy, like, let's set our goals, let's go after our dreams, let's, like, I'm pretty sure all of you guys have had dreams and goals and aspirations the last 5 years in a row, right? Like, I'm gonna get the body of my dreams. I'm gonna actually start my business. I'm gonna actually start my YouTube because I saw Ciana started her YouTube, so I want to do it too. But then, like, you still didn't do it. Like, let's just like cut to the chase, cut to the chase, right? Like, there's just some things that you just still didn't even start, didn't even look into, didn't even research, and you just continue to either scroll on Instagram, you continue to go to the happy hours, you continue to um maybe like just kind of hang out, right? Hang out with the fellas, hang out with the girls. Um Never take away family time like with your kids. I'm never gonna, like, that's number one in my opinion. But outside of that, like all the friend moments, the guy nights, the girls nights, the dinners, all that stuff will always be there. So we're going to do a deep dive into who do you actually want to become going into 2024. Okay? So let me know in the comments also too if any of you guys are wanting to ask me general questions about health, fitness, mindfulness, spirituality, feel free to put it down in the comments below and I will be also following along and reading your questions and answering your questions. So feel free to ask. Okay. So I was in some deep meditation and just kind of journaling and taking notes and kind of just in my mode. And I was like, how can I get someone that needs to hear this? How can I actually get them to take action? Because the thing is, I feel like there's so many pieces of advice, there's so many books, and most of them are actually really good. Like, they're actually really legit pieces of information, but if you don't implement it, like, it obviously it's not going to work. And we know that. So that's like reporting the weather, right? Like, I can look outside and see that it's sunny and someone's saying, "Hey, you know it's sunny, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, I can see it." So it's information that we already know. But what can you actually do to really embody what you want to become, even if it's just one thing, right? Like, you actually want to write your ebook, or you actually want to start your side business, or you actually want to maybe travel somewhere you've never traveled before, right? You're like, I've never been international. I see all this traveling. I'm really inspired. I want to do it. Um, so what I really want you to do, I really want you to take this serious, like what I'm going to tell you. And it's going to sound easy and it's going to sound fluffy, but this is what people do. Like, I've done extensive research about what successful people do, how they live their life. And it's very simple things that they just do over and over. Like, that's really at the end of the day what I've gathered from listening to Warren Buffett, listening to high net worth earners that are women. I've, listening to all the mainstream millionaires and billionaires, and some of the people that are millionaires and billionaires that no one really knows of, and you'd really have to go diving deep to find them. And what they've really done is they actually weed out the fluff. So depending on what you want to do. So again, if you guys feel comfortable, I will be reading what you guys are saying here. Um, we can actually use a real life example and dive deep, but for now I'm just going to use a general one. But you can apply this to anything. And again, this applies to any time of year that, or any year in the future that you're listening to this. Every year we're going to be going into a new year, right? So we're always going to be rethinking, reflecting, all that. And you really have to sit down and write out what is a distraction, even the positive things, even the positive things. So I actually came to my own realization, and excuse me if you guys hear my stomach growling. I'm still doing my intermittent fasting. I have about 2 hours more to go until I can have my first meal of the day. So for now, I'm having tea. So excuse me if you guys hear my stomach growling. Um, and also, quick fun fact: I love sitting on the floor. I'm half black, half Punjabi, and my whole life, like Punjabi Sikhism, like you sit on the floor and you meditate. So I'm very comfortable. I'm actually very comfortable. You guys always see me in a car, but this is like I actually really enjoy like sitting cross-legged. So just a little fun fact about me. So I had an epiphany like 2 months ago, and I was like, there's some things I'm really proud of myself for this year, but there's also some things that I like I really wanted to deep dive into and start, and I didn't. And why? So I did a deep reflection, and I came to the conclusion that I was misled by thinking that even things that are positive in my life, right? So even things that are positive, meaning positive intake of information, positive scrolling, like looking at spiritual stuff, positive podcasts, right? Positive stuff about how to do something that I really want to do. Like even positive things were sucking up my time. I came to the conclusion that a lot of stuff sucks up our time. And we know that, but I like went some deeper layers in. Those 10, 15-minute, 20-minute phone calls that are not elevating with family members, coworkers, friends, the socializing, number one. Number two, the socializing on the internet. So how many of you have and this is going to lead up to something really huge, because we're going to actually be diving deep into really also finding out your purpose, um, and diving into your purpose and your passion, and also how you could even potentially monetize that. So I'm actually going to give you something, gift you something that you could actually take in with to 2024, and really, um, not only start to love something that you're doing, whether you make it full time, make it part time. I have nothing to sell you. Like there's things that I do have for sale, but this video is about you. So I just want to premise that. So I'm giving this, it'll be a free tutorial on the monetary part that you can take. So for those who stay to the end, you'll get gifted that. So did a deep dive, and the random lighthearted gossip, the random deep dives on, like, even me, I love to watch documentaries about ancient stuff and like alien civilizations and spirituality, right? And I would spend an hour, and those are positive things, like they're not bad, like I'm learning, right? Like they're things that are enhanced, like in some way they're adding to me. But then I'm like, I didn't really have, like, how many ancient videos like can I watch, right? Like, or how many nutrition videos can I watch, right? Every day. Instead of just like implementing this very thing that I want to do. So I came to the conclusion that, and I really started to study people and just sit back and observe other people. And I would just hear them talk about what they want to do, what they have plans for. And then I would say, "Oh, well, that's so dope. Like, so what are you doing? Like, let me, like, tell me more. Like, so what are you doing, like, about it?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm like still working on, I have to wait till this." Or, "Oh, well, I still need to get like a coach, or I still need to do this." And it's like, "Oh, okay, well, how long, like, have you been like, like wanting to do that?" And, "Oh, like, this year I told myself at some point I want to do it." And it's just kind of like this very unclear, fuzzy, fuzzy answers that I would get from individuals, and very like, uh great intentions, right? Like I actually believe them, and I see that they really have a passion about something, or they really want to put forth the effort into doing something. But it's like when you sit back and observe it, it's like you're actually just going right back on the video game, or you're actually going right back to looking at makeup tutorials. But like the stuff that you said you want to do, like you said you wanted to start this business, but you're just looking at makeup tutorials, and you don't want to start a business about makeup tutorials. So what I came to the conclusion of is that people are searching for reasons to not go after their dreams. Like it actually feels good. Like there's actually a dopamine hit that goes off in our body talking about what we want to do. And then so we're talking about what we want to do, what we're talking about, what our dreams and hopes and desires, and it feels really good. So we keep talking about it. We're going back and forth, and we're hyping each other up. And maybe you're in a group setting, or you're just with someone individually, and you're like, yeah. And then the very next like 30 minutes, or the very next moment, or when you're done having that conversation, what you technically should do is do that very thing, like toward it. 99% of people don't do it. And I was just sitting there pondering and really researching, like, why that, like, what is it? Like, why don't we have a goal, or we have, and Myron Golden is a fantastic YouTuber. I have lots of favorites, but he's definitely was one of my shining stars this year. And he said something that was really profound. He said that he doesn't have goals. And that just hit me because I've like in my mind, I'm like, I've always kind of led, like what I'm about to say is, it's going to come full circle. I've always thought to myself, goals don't work. But then like I kind of didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't really know what I was meaning by that. So I'm like goals are good, but like they're that's not it, right? But I didn't know how to put it into words. So Myron Golden put it into words. I was like, oh my God, he's just literally like downloading information from God. But he says he has objectives, and that made so much sense to me because that really is what it is. You have an output, and then there's input that you put in to get the output. That's it. Like it's just simple. That's what it is. Sometimes a goal, it can seem like, number one, it can seem unachievable. It can almost seem like it's a fluffy commercial. It can seem like if you don't have anyone around you, any examples around you, it can seem like it's hard to actually achieve that goal. Like there's many reasons why like goals just don't get achieved. So I loved that because that's how I actually created my ebook, my own ebook. I get 100% of the well, technically PayPal takes a tiny percentage of it anytime someone makes a purchase. But my ebook, I'm like, oh my God, I actually created something from my brain. And yeah, it was it was a goal, but like I just had an end objective that I wanted to meet. And like I just did all these like 30 tiny small steps that when you look at it in a tiny, like when you zoom into it, it was an easy step. And then when you add up all the steps, it like came out to like the ending objective, which was my ebook. So my output, like when I did the input, my output was my ebook. So we can do that with everything, right? Whether it's you want to get clutter out of your house, whether you want to get more finances, like it's just a simple input, you get an output. That's what it is. If goals are not working for you, if goals have not been working for you every single year, don't set goals. Like I'm not setting any goals like for 2024. I'm just focusing on what's my end objective? Like what's my objective? And then when I put this series of input, I'll get my output, which is my objective, right? So I love that. So Myron Golden is amazing. I watch him at least 2 to 3 times a week. I always get my Myron Golden fix. He does have principles that are surrounded around Christianity. You guys know I'm mainly spiritual. I was raised Christian and Sikhism, which is that is just such an odd combination of a way to experience life. So even if you are not Christian, if you have a different background or you're spiritual, it just makes sense. Like you can apply the teachings to anything, and like you can, don't let the Christianity layer like make you not want to watch it. He's an amazing teacher, master teacher. Okay, so that's a plug on I don't know who he is. Hopefully I get to meet him one day, but amazing. So I love that. So that's what I want to tell you for 2024. I want you to write down your objective. I literally want you to get a piece of paper. Okay, I want you to get down a piece of paper. You can do this with me. Okay. Also, too, on the replay, I'm going to obviously go a little quick because, just for sake of time. But on the replay, you can actually pause this and like actually do it with me, or you can like watch the whole video and then go back and then, pause, pause, start and do it. But I want you let's just keep it cool, keep it simple. Write down all of your objectives, right? So for me, it's, continuing growing my YouTube. I'll just put down 3. I have some body goals, right? And then I also have just like some goals on like sharpening up some of my a personal skill that I want to work on. So skills, right? So I'm just going to write through. I have like 100, but I have 3. Write down your objectives. Now write down all the things that you would need to, don't let it overwhelm you. Just have fun. Put on some music, get some tea, if you drink, get some wine and just have fun with this. So what does it take, right? Like to actually get that? What does it take? And look up people that are doing it. So if you're intimidated and you're like, I really don't know where to start, you could actually put that down. Research how to da 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 da. So research how to continue to build my YouTube, or research how to lose that extra 5 pounds that is just so stubborn to, get rid of. So, right, like, and that's a reality for me. So, I can teach you a lot about health and fitness, but as someone that is obsessed with it, we still always have our goals and level ups that we want to get to as well. So write down all the things that you would need to do. Then, so let's just say, all the things, right? So I'm just gonna like do like little stars as if I was writing down all the things. Okay, so I'm gonna do that for each. So imagine it would be like whatever it was, right? So if it's like YouTube, it'd be like, okay, so dive into, like, I love Daryl Eves and Roberto Blake. Those are my two favorite, like, how to grow your YouTube. So it'd be like, okay, look at Roberto Blake's at least 1 hour a week. Dive into Daryl Eves' teachings 1 hour a week, and then implement the things that they're saying. Like, I would, just write down all the types of input. Then you just put it in order, and then you do it. That, like, I know that sounds wild, but like that's literally it. Now, I'm going to tell you why you already know that and you're not doing it. So we know, so this is simple exercise. I want you to take the time to do it. Like, if you're worth the 11 minutes of highly laser focused, dialed in focus attention on this. Okay. So just, you don't have to write it down. You could do it in your phone, but write down your objectives and then write down all the things that it would take to have to do it. And then go through and put in order the very next thing that's most urgent and important for that. Look at it and say, you know what, this would probably take about a good month. So then, okay, put it all into a month. Okay, what can I accomplish in a week from this whole chunk? Okay, I can do like 3 things. Okay, what am I going to do each day? Okay, how much time do I actually have to do this each day? I really only have a solid 35 minutes that I could really, like, I wouldn't have to like tend to the kids. I can like tell my spouse to like watch the kids, or if you're a single parent, I can maybe have them like lock into their show, like a kid show, and then I can be like, focus on this for 35 minutes, whatever it is, right? Like, put on a movie for the kids and whatever. Like, you can do this. You can figure this out. It's not that difficult to find 30 minutes a day. So you say, okay, so for the next week, each day, I'm going to do 30 minutes of my YouTube growth or whatever, or my, like, something for my body goals, or something for the skill that I want to learn. So I just do 30 minutes a day. Now, when I wake up every morning, I already have what I'm going to do. It's not like I'm not thinking about the end objective, like, oh my God, I want to, have this amount of subscribers. I want to have this. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm just worried about super genuine, authentic, potent, like, real, relatable content that I want to spend time with you for 30 minutes. Like, I don't care about the past. I don't care about the future. I'm in this moment with you doing what I said that I want to do, which is be consistent with my YouTube, right? I'm not thinking about the output. I'm not thinking, or, the objective. I'm not thinking about all the reasons why I wish I could have done this earlier. It's just, I'm here right now. So that's what chunking it down does. That's what, like, putting it down into bite-size, actionable things you can do, and make it easy. Like, chill out, like, relax, like, just, you have the 30 minutes. So you're like, okay, cool. My 30 minutes, I'm locked in. I'm not overwhelming myself with feeling like I have to get all of the things that I said I wanted to get done, right? I'm just only getting, I should have put my phone on do not disturb. But I'm only getting my 30-minute input for the day. So remember, forget about the goals. Don't make any goals for 2024. They don't work. You've already had the goals. Now, if you're someone that has had goals and that works for you, you can respectfully, like, let me know down below what you've done. I would actually love to hear. And then you don't have to listen because, this doesn't pertain to you. But for someone else that's been struggling with goals, I want you to change your framework, like, change the way that you're viewing what you have to do, because that's the problem. So I know I said a couple minutes ago, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. It's because there's things that you don't even really realize that are seem like they're a benefit, but they're actually holding you back. So, like I said, I had 2 months ago, I had my epiphany where I was like, you know what? Even though a lot of the information I take in, 99% of it's positive, like the news, the politics, all that stuff, like just from opening your phone, you can't help but like see something, a headline. So technically I consumed like a negative piece of information, but like information that I personally go out and seek is 99%. It's not even 99%, it's 100%. It's like I'm not researching weird like drama, like celebrity drama. Like I don't care about none of that. Like I try to delete or unfollow anything that is turning into like a gossip site. I don't want it. I don't want to deal with it. So, but that was actually sucking up my time. And I was like, whoa. So I'm watching things that are positive and actually pouring into me, but I'm actually not doing the thing, like physically bringing, like through my fingers or through, like, say, for example, like I said earlier, it's very interesting to me. Even though that's good information, it's not helping me grow my YouTube. You know what I'm saying? It's not helping me like lose that 5 pounds. It's not helping me learn how to cook a new dish. It's not, it's like my personal self development growth things that I want to get better and better at. It's like learning about ancient past. It's a little bit of the information because some of the information actually is things that we should be implementing now, but that's a whole other story. But most of it isn't. It's just pure entertainment for me. So I was like, I need to like really lock in and narrow down and really like analyze the minutes that I've been so I went and I sat down and I was like, what have I been, what did I do last week? Okay, so outside of stuff that I needed to do and that were beneficial, what were the other things? And I really ended up journaling out about 5 hours over the whole course of the week. So for 7 days, I ended up journaling out 5 hours where I was leaking time. Leaking. And I'm thinking that it's like positive, but if you really want it, like if you really want that next level body, if you really want to elevate, like it's go time. Like it's not fluffy. Like it's not going to be like, okay, I'll just kind of get to it, or you're always going to push it out into the future. So for 2024, if you're really about that life and you really are like, I'm ready to like get my entrepreneurship going, or I'm ready to get, you know, my health together, or I'm ready to get my fitness game up, like I'm ready, you're going to have to really analyze what you do with the minutes of your life, even when it seems like it's positive. So, for example, another one, if you're on the phone for 45 minutes talking about, now it could be perceived like, well, I'm spending time with my family, right? Like I'm spending time with my family. So 45 minutes that you're like on a FaceTime call for 45 minutes. And you're like, I spent time with family. 10 minutes of it was like, we're catching up, we're really like, you know, connecting, da 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 da. 30 minutes of it is like talking about politics, talking about, so like even though you are technically spending time through a FaceTime with family, what the information that you're exchanging is not elevating either of you. So like, so unless it's going to turn into a self-development session, or it's going to turn into a session where you both are like, we both have been saying we want to do this, why don't for the next 45 minutes we actually like really learn what an LLC is? Like we both saying we want to, you know, start a business. Like instead of talking about politics, let's spend time together as a family to like really learn stocks, right? Like me and my mom literally did that. Like we spent time together learning about investing. So now me and my mom spent time together and now we are investors. So it was like we got to knock out two birds with one stone. So I'm talking about really making a change. Like someone might be like, well, that is so extreme, but really there's so much leakage of time, and you may think it's like covered in the illusion of like it's something really for you, but it's really holding you back. So again, if you're spending hours and hours and hours looking at interior decorating, or hours and hours and hours um, of looking at cooking shows because like it's something you enjoy looking at, but you looked at the cooking shows for 2 hours and like you don't plan on necessarily cooking one of those things, you just enjoy watching people cook. Um, but then like one of the hours you could have used for like going after like that particular goal. So I know this is speaking to somebody's spirit because it's like we are misled. And I think that I remember this because I remember what it was like before social media was a big thing. Like I was an adult when social media was not a thing, it didn't exist. And the amount of stuff that I was doing and accomplishing was crazy. I was on two different dance teams. I was on a professional dance team. Well, I was on two professional dance teams. One was for indoor arena football. Another one was like a dance team, out in Fresno, and we did professional show. Whatever. I was on two different dance teams. I was working full time. I was in groups in college. I was getting great grades in college. I was on an academic scholarship for all 4 years of my college. I don't have college debt. Okay. I'm like, how did I do all of that? Like, how did I do all I mean, I still have a lot of energy. It's not like, oh, well, when you're young, you got a lot of energy. No, it's like I still have the energy. So what am I really doing? And so I really like sat down and I was like, then you didn't have time, like, unless you wanted to like pop open an encyclopedia and like read about ancient times, which that what didn't really sound like super fun to do. I wasn't doing that. There wasn't a ton of information like memes, like reading even positive quotes all day. Like there wasn't things like now granted a lot of the stuff that we have these days have enhanced us, but we have to take dominion over it. We are not we like it's controlling us. Like the positive memes are actually controlling us. Because what will happen is a lot of us will like really be like down. Like all of us have this moment, even myself, like where you're just kind of like, oh, today's kind of like and you're looking at something and all of a sudden you go into a sea of memes on the internet and it's like 35 minutes of looking at memes. I could have actually like used the 35 minutes, learned a skill, and then been able to monetize it and teach it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really like analyzed that time of my life when there wasn't internet and I was like, "Oh my gosh, people are leaking their life force energy, their minutes of their beautiful minutes of every breath during their day is being spent. We're not good spenders these days. Like our spending with our God currency, our God time. God said, okay, here's some change for the, all this is all your allowance for the day, which is your breathing, right? That's your allowance. Do whatever you want with it. I don't care. It's up to you. And a lot of us are just like spending it on memes, spending it on looking at kitchen attire, spending it on, and it's like, unless you're going to literally like go and then purchase that thing, it's like, what are you? So I hope I'm speaking it. Like, let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about in the comments, because, and a lot of people that are more like older millennials will understand what I'm saying. And especially for the younger 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds that do watch my channel, do not get caught up in spending. Like, actually, you guys have the biggest advantage because you guys have more access to being able to become a millionaire on the internet more than ever. And more than likely, some of you are still living at home. You can become a millionaire from the internet and not have, because you're not really worried about bills at the moment. So most of you guys, at least. So don't spend it just like looking at funny things or looking at funny, entertaining videos all day. So what I've done is I am doing strategic indulgence, which you guys can look up, and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to schedule it in when I can do those things. So I'm going to schedule it in when I can look at memes for fun, or look at YouTube for fun, or look at, but other than that, like the very next moments of my life need to be a tiny bite size of accomplishing something that I actually want to be manifested in my life. I did it so easily at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 when the internet didn't exist. So on top of the goals not really working, create objectives and then do inputs to get the ending objective. I also want you to really look at your intake of information, even the good stuff, even the good information. So, for example, I did actually read like 2 hours of something, but I literally like added it to my skill level now, right? Like I now have that skill. Like I'm now a certified life coach, which I was already life coaching since came out of the womb, to be honest. But you know, as far as like having a certificate, whatever, and like having some structure around that has actually been pretty dope. So I now have that skill. But what I was doing, I could have done that 3 years ago. But because I was like looking at memes, or, you know, thinking, okay, well, you know, it's positive information that I'm intaking. So I know I'm like saying the same thing in different ways, but I really want I want it to click for someone in some way where you're like, you know what, I really have been leaking my life force energy. I really, my allowance for the day is been spent up on things that are not, I haven't been spending my allowance strategically that's going to pour into me and benefit me. So that's wild when you think about it, like dang. So instead of, you know, thinking about all the stuff that you wish you could have, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, I want you to just start now. The second, like even if you're already motivated and inspired by what I've said, click off. I don't even want, like, I'm telling you to click off and like do the very next thing that's going to take you closer to your goal, closer to your objective. Like we don't, we do have the time, but it's how we allocate our time. Okay? So also too, this is a side note, if you do want to start a YouTube, okay, so this is so what I said at the beginning of the video is now I also do want to give you a form, a way that you can make passive income on the side. That's real. I'm actually going to do an entire deep dive tutorial on this, but if you want to start a YouTube and you want to make money from YouTube, you can do it. I'm doing it right now. Right now, I only have 200, I have 2.6K. So it's 2,600 followers or subscribers. Love all of you guys. I really cherish every single human being that actually took the time to take their finger and go boop on my page because there's something that you found useful in my comment. I literally, really, genuinely appreciate that because you could have used that second to do anything else, but you chose to subscribe and tap into my world, and I truly appreciate it. And I'm pouring back into you, right? So right now there is ways that I'm making money off of YouTube not being monetized. I definitely am going to be monetized as I continue to grow my channel, but there's ways that you can actually make money from YouTube without actually having a ton of subscribers, right? So what you want to do, what I did over a year and a half ago, I wrote an ebook. Okay? What I want you to do, get on Canva, write an ebook. And there is like already written um books that you can, like, this is just for anyone who happens to have the goal of like wanting an extra form of income for 2024. This is for you. So if you're like wanting to get the body of your dreams, like this part's not going to really be for you, but if you want to know how to create another form of income on the side, and then you could even eventually go full-time with it depending on how your input, right, to get an output. So let me get a sip, and I'm going to teach you how to make some money on the side right now. So okay, I want you to write down something that you always are teaching people. Anything that you're always telling something, like someone how to do something, is because it could be it's because like you're the go-to person, right? For it. Like whether it's mechanics, whether it's cooking, whether it doesn't matter. Decorating, they call you and they're like, "Oh, can you how do you do that again? Or you're the best at that or whatever." I want you to analyze what those things are. So for me, it was how to lose weight, like just how to maintain a good weight. People were always asking me in my DM. So I was like, you know what? Instead of always like writing out this long damn paragraph, I want to I'm just going to put it in an ebook so that way I can just say, hey, look, get my ebook. Because to be honest with you, it was taking like 20 minutes of my time. And I'm like, my time's expensive. Like, I value my time and I do love helping people. But like, I got to find harmony in this. I got to find balance and harmony and make this work because that's just too much time to be always writing paragraphs. So I put it into an ebook. Or so I wrote, I was like, okay, I pretty much know the flow. I always say the same thing, the same sentences to people. So let me just put that into an ebook and then maybe expand on it a little bit more. So I have a 40-page ebook. If you want to check it out, it's down below in the description. But I made it on Canva. So get with Canva, okay? Get on top of it. Download Canva today, right now. And I want you to play with it. I want you to play with Canva. Canva is a it's a what would you call Canva? It's just like it's a place where you can do pretty much anything. You could create PowerPoints, you can create ebooks, you can create pamphlets, you can create flyers, you can create like it's just like a digital playground of like ways that you can put information into a structure. So if you want to make nice stories for your Snapchat or da 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 da, like it's whatever. I have been thinking about who I want to be a lot. I really don't know who. Okay, so this is what we're digging into right now. So let me pause and actually answer that. So you said I have been thinking about what I want a lot or what I want to be a lot. Every time I look on here, there's always like a heart. It's always in the way of when I'm reading. I want to be a lot, and I don't really know what or who that is. Okay, so I bet you anything you already know. I bet you anything you already know. There's just a limiting belief about actually living that out. So when you say, I've been thinking about who I want to be a lot, I don't really know what or who that is. I think what you're really saying under that is there's things that I know I want to accomplish. There's things that there's an identity that I know I want to step into, but I don't really know how to bring forth that person or how to live out that identity. So, because I know that there's several things that you've either been successful at, like go back when you come to a roadblock like this. What you want to do is sit with yourself, put on a candle, put some tea on, get some wine, whatever you want to do. No distractions for 22 minutes. Okay, for 22 minutes, I want you to literally go back in time and affirm all the things that you've accomplished, right? So, what did you do in elementary school? What did you do before that? What did you look at pictures from when you were young? Oh, I really love to draw. Okay, what did you like to do in elementary school, junior high, high school, college years, whether you went to college or not, college years, and your later 20s, your 30s, right? Go just write out for 22 minutes, write out 22 different things. And then I want you to look at it and like look at a theme. So for example, for me, like I actually know my purpose. It took me so long, but I actually know my purpose. And it like I realized it in 2023 actually. But it was always there. I just didn't want to step it because I really didn't like believe I could like deserve to do it. Like kind of like who am I to be like thinking I have this purpose? Like who the hell am I? Like who are you? I was doing my own limiting beliefs. So It was there the whole time. I know I'm supposed to ignite light in people. So it's like, what does it even look like? Like, what do you mean ignite light? Like you're gonna walk around with the torch and go wave your wand around? And like in a way, yeah. And I can say that now confidently. Like before, I used to be like, well, no, I mean, yeah, I just I like to help people, and like be very like this. But now I'm like, yeah, like I might even get a wand and like put a like diamond thing on the end and like just to be funny. But it's like, yeah, I know that. So there's different forms of my purpose. I've been living it the whole time. So I've always been coaching and developing and mentoring people my whole life. And every time I've done it, I feel good in my body. So once I stepped into it, I was like, okay, this is who I am now. What does that look like? Like, can I make money at this? Like, can I live off of this? Like, can I turn this into like a career path? Right. So write down, because sometimes we have passions. Passions and purpose is different. And we get told that you need to find your passion. You need to find your passion. Passions are different than purpose. You need to actually be pouring into your purpose. And then your purpose gives you the ability to exercise more of your passions. So what do I mean by that? So passions are things like, and it could be ignited at different stages of your life too. Like you could never have been into art and then all of a sudden turn 35 and you're like obsessed with art, right? Like I have a passion for art now. Like who knew? Like I watched this podcast and now like I really want to like go on a journey of going to every single museum in the United States or whatever, right? I have a passion for cooking. I have a passion for reading. I have a passion for music. I have a passion for da 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 da. But your purpose is something different. So like I could have my purpose of wanting to help people like find their purpose or ignite light into them or motivate and inspire them to find their passions. But let's just say I like, because I have a passion for dancing, right? So this is one of them. I have a passion for dancing. And I was a dancer and still am, even though I just put on YouTube and dance, whatever. So, but my purpose was always living inside of my passion. So I was on a dance team, okay? I was coaching and helping people on my dance. So while we were dancing, I'm doing my passion. I was like also helping my teammates, like in their life, right? Like with sadness, things that made them sad or stress or whatever. So like the whole time, my real purpose was like coming out, playing out in the way of like someone I was on a dance team with. So sometimes we can get misled or misunderstood about purpose and passion. Purpose. I need to find my passion. Well, there's passions all over the place. Like passion. You could be passionate about self-development. You could be passionate about hair care products. You could be passionate about, so I know that there's things that you're passionate about, but the purpose could be interweaved in those passions, right? So when I looked back on my life, I was like, oh my gosh, when I was a district manager, I was basically life coaching. When I was a cheerleader, I was life coaching. When I was at, going to different lounges and when I was younger, going to the club, there would be moments I'd be life coaching someone in the club. I'd be life coaching someone at a lounge. Seriously. So the whole time I might have been like, I have a passion for going to new restaurants. I love food. Who doesn't love food? Actually, I didn't really start loving food until I was like 28, 29, by the way. That's a whole nother story. But like, looking at it like a art, like, ooh, like what restaurant, how do they decorate it? What's the ambiance, the music? Ooh, the chairs, how does it feel when I sit here? Like, I love like new restaurants, right? So that's a passion. That's a passion. But I can be like doing my purpose, like while I'm doing something passionate about. Like I could be at a restaurant, like with someone I'm coaching, right? Like, and like, so I'm doing my passion. So that would be, first of all, separate the two. Passion, purpose, passion. There's two separate things. We're misled to think that we need to find our passion. We need to be pouring into our potential purpose and like discovering that and pulling that out of us. But it's always there. So back to your original saying, you don't know who that is. Well, I bet you know who it is. It's just a matter of if you believe that you can live authentically, fully in it. Because the mere fact that you are aware that you don't know, that tells me you know. Isn't that kind of like interesting how that works? So if you feel comfortable, you can tell me a couple things. You're definitely a shining light for others. Thank you so much. I received that. So again, because you're aware that you don't know, that means you know. So sit with yourself and really like admit to yourself, like, okay, do I feel worthy of it? Like, do I just feel worthy? Like, I don't feel worthy, Like, I've been coaching people, I've been in leadership positions my whole life. I was a district manager. I was over 400 part-time people. Like, I was their boss. And I still wasn't giving myself permission to coach people like on my own, like through my own portal. Like, it always had to be like through a job, through a dance team, through a group of people I knew, through the charity I work for. Like, but it's like, well, what about Ciana just creating her own galaxy and like creating her own world? And that's the way she gets to choose how she pours light into people, not through the portal of, well, I'm also a COO of a charity. Well, then that's when I connect with people. No, it's like, it's Sienna's galaxy. And so before, I just was like, I had to just be honest with myself. I was like, you know what? It's kind of like, who the hell am I to think that I can do that? That I just didn't, it was a self-sabotaging, and it's a severe case of that a lot of people do. I just learned this term like 2 or 3 years ago. Once I learned the term, it actually helped me start the YouTube, which is, oh my gosh, I just had it. It's like falling away from me. Oh my, it'll come to me. Getting too excited. It basically is when you think, oh my God, I can't believe I talk about this all the time. Well, whatever. It'll come to me. But it basically is something where you just talk yourself out of thinking that you're worthy, and like, but you are. So it'll come to me. So you said, like, I know that's pretty to me. And I know, um, not self-sabotage. Well, it is. It's self-sabotage, but my God. It's okay, let me read you. It says, like, I know what's pretty to me. I know a lot about being healthy, making money, and all that stuff. Yeah, because you said you build websites. Like that, I'm like, I taught myself how to like create some little modules. I was going through it. So, and it seems like you already know how to do that, or that's a skill that you've already attained. Like that's so, like, write all that stuff out. If I remember correctly, you telling me that, I know a lot about healthy, making money, and all that stuff, but yeah, maybe I haven't given myself permission to be that woman. That's what it is. Um, that is really annoying me that I can't think of what it is. 'Cause it's not, it has to do with self-sabotage. Um, it's a syndrome that pretty much everybody has, like at one point or another in their life. It's like a, oh my God, whatever. I'll like put it on like the community tab. Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's yeah, imposter syndrome. That's what it is. It's imposter syndrome. Why did I think? You know what I was thinking of? I thought the word started with a P, but it's imposter. But I was thinking P like posture. But okay, whatever. I need to eat something. I'm on my last hour of intermittent fasting, so maybe that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Imposter syndrome. It's like, who the hell am I to think that I could like teach people about health, fitness, and wellness? Like, who am I to think that I can teach people about wanting to look youthful, even though I get told all the time that I look 7 to 10 years younger? Who am I to tell people to, like, it's like the answer's in your face. The answer's there, but we like talk ourselves out of it, even though the proof is coming to us, right? So I just did some deep meditating, deep journaling, and I just was like, I don't care if one person watches, which is my mom. I'm just going to do this for me. I have to start talking. Like, I need to start speaking on the internet, the trolls and all. Like, I just have to do it. And someone may be smarter than me in a certain area. Someone may, but everybody's ahead of somebody all the time, right? So like, because I'm an older millennial, I automatically know a lot more in some areas than people in their 20s. Like I just do. I've just been on the planet longer. So like that already like you being your age right now qualifies you to be an expert at something. Because if you've been able to make it and make it to be alive, like you've been doing something correctly, right? Like you've been able to survive. So what have you been doing to survive? You've been doing this, you've been eating this, you've been da da da. Like there's always something you can be that you're better at. Like even if it's just two steps ahead, it doesn't have to be significantly, years and years ahead of somebody. It could be like, look, I learned this. Like for me, I'm talking about telling people to do an ebook. I've only had an ebook for a year. It's like, well, who the hell are you to talk about an ebook? Well, I made one. So I made one once. And so now I can encourage you to make one. You know what I mean? Like it's so before I would have like self-sabotaged and imposter syndrome myself out of it. Like, you know what? I've only had one. So I have to have 10 before I can encourage other people to make one. Like that doesn't even make any sense. So it's like we create these boundaries, we create these things, we create these limiting beliefs. That's why I literally for the last I think 4 years now on my Instagram, I literally put this because I was like, I just need to, because, we all look at Instagram a lot, right? So I literally put Ciana Limitless Sing. I literally put my middle name is not Limitless. I do have a middle name though. But I put Ciana Limitless Sing. Like every single time I feel like I have a limiting belief, I just turn it in. I'm like, okay, let me play the limitless game. One big thing in the way is habits. Not sure if you heard of breaking the habits. Wait, not sure if you've heard of Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe. Oh, I love Joe Dispenza. Oh my God. I binge out on his stuff weekly. Weekly. Sometimes I'll wake up my 11-minute meditation in the morning. I've been feeling called to do 11-minute meditations. You're just sitting in silence. And then I'll get up and take a shower and I'll have Joe Dispenza be playing. Yes, I haven't read his book, but I like binge all of his interviews and all of his podcasts and all of his stuff. But I'll probably get that on audio. I'm sure there's some of the principles that I've heard him say in that. But yes, the thing is, it's like he always talks about we wake up and then we just immediately start thinking about the familiar past. It's so true. Like you wake up and you like for like half a second, you're like, and then you're like, oh, that bill. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was supposed to do that. Oh, yeah. Oh, got to do the laundry. Oh, yeah, man, I overspent there. Like we all of a sudden start going through all of those like past things, right? And um it's if you just literally woke up and said reset button, reset, it's all in the past. It's literally the past doesn't exist. I've always, even before I knew about Joe Dispenza, I used to always say the past actually really doesn't exist. Like it's not like it's like here's the past, like from like a trauma that happened in your childhood and then you have to wear it, like there's a physical like stone that you have to wear now and like you always have to like have it. Like it doesn't exist. Like it's just in your brain and it's just like you're replaying it. So really you can wake up and be someone new every day if you want. Maybe you were someone that ate bad. Today you're not. Maybe you're someone that was 30 pounds overweight. Today I'm not, even though technically the 30 pounds is on your body, but you could be someone that changes the way you eat today. And you're just like, you know what? I'm a fit person. Even though you look in the mirror and you're like, okay, I'm 35 pounds overweight, I'm 40 pounds overweight. I'm super fit. I'm a fit person like that. So what do fit people do? They make better decisions on eating. And then all of a sudden in 6 months, you actually like, you just start feeling the feelings of what it feels like to have that thing. And I know this is going to sound so weird. This is more so going into spirituality and manifestation, which I haven't really talked a lot about manifestation, even though I live a lot of my lifestyle through manifestation. But I think I'm trying to find my words and my angle on it. But it works and it's real. And this is so weird. Okay, so this is a cheesy example, but I know I manifested this. When I was in high school, I remember sitting at an assembly, and it was like an assembly where they announced like the homecoming princesses and princes, right? And I remember watching the girls like get announced like for who was homecoming princess. And I remember being like, Oh, I'm home. Like in my brain, right when I saw that, I was like, I'm homecoming princess. And immediately at 14, watching those other girls that are 4 years older than me, right? Or 3 years, 4 years older than me, I'm watching them like get the crown. As they were going through it, I was like feeling like the joy, the happiness, like the sense of accomplishment. Like there's reasons why you get like princess and get queen. And I remember knowing, like, I was like, I am going to get that. Not even like I just saw myself as that then. Like I was watching it 4 years ahead, but it was like I was feeling the feelings in my body, like how my face was like smiling. Like I felt like the heat in my body, like you know when you get excited or like the butterflies, like I really felt it. And a lot of Joe Dispenza's teachings are this is how people heal cancer immediately. This is how people that were blind all can see. Like literally, it's like there's scientific. It's not woo woo. Like no, I was blind for my whole life, and now I can literally see. So you literally like tap into a part like your brain doesn't know the difference between what you're feeling on the inside because it's like whether you're actually experiencing it or not, it's what you're feeling. So even though you may be in a bad situation financially, if you're feeling grateful, blessed, and abundant, your brain doesn't know any difference. It's gonna automatically start to like shift, bring forth your view, your reticular, what is it, reticular activating system. It's going to start to like bring your brain to pay attention to those very things that are going to actually bring that reality into manifested 3D. Okay, so I did that. I was like, oh, I know I did that when I was in high school because I ended up getting homecoming princess twice. Well, it was a duchess when I was a junior, and I became homecoming princess, and it was so weird. I know. I was like, I remember when I became homecoming princess, I wasn't even shocked. I was like, oh yeah, like it was like duh. Like I already decided that I was going to be homecoming princess 4 years ago. Like that's how I. But I didn't know how to. Manifestation wasn't like a thing when I was in high school, so I wasn't like, oh, I manifested this. I was just like, oh yeah, I already decided. Like it was weird. So because like the world, the reality of the world hadn't hit me yet, and going to college and going through your 20s and all the weird, cool, epic, trash, crazy things that you go through, all of it wrapped up in one. You know, I think my manifestation skills, I saw my manifestation skills like really be on point. And then because of life's like society's limiting beliefs, there is moments where I fell into the limiting belief. So I think when I was in high school, I was like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and like we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the internet. We actually wrote essays with it was like, oh, my son was growling. It was like, oh, you have to write a formal essay, and it was in pen. It was like, okay, you got to write it in rough draft as pencil, and then you write it in pen because it's, you got to be serious about it. So some of you guys know what I'm talking about during that time. It says one big thing. Okay, that's going to be one of my new affirmations. I'm a fit, healthy person. I think that will be more helpful than saying yes. That's it right there. That's it. That also falls within Joe Dispenza's teaching. It's like like you can look in the mirror and be like, dang, I need to lose the 30 pounds because you're affirming the 30 pounds. You're affirming the 25 pounds, or you're affirming I'm a healthy fit person. Like for me, it's like I'm on my entrepreneurship journey right now, and I'm like, I'm a successful entrepreneur. And there's already things that are affirming like my journey because I literally made money from the internet. So like I already know it's possible, right? Like with my genuine real skills that I'm sharing with the world. So absolutely. It's like we have to shapeshift and reframe how we look at things, and then you shift into that identity. When we're always affirming the old identity, it's like, how do you really shift out of that, right? So, and it's not meaning we're in denial, but we're just shape shifting the way that we're looking at it so we can make it work to our favor, like bend the reality to our favor. Okay. So, that's huge. So really quick, again, if you want to have a side income for anyone, that wants side income, write down your skills, Get on Canva. It's an app. Get on Canva, Canva, Canva. Play around with it. Upload your ebook to PayHip. That's what I use, to PayHip. Or if you already have a website, perfect. Upload it to PayHip and you could be making money today. So look up, write down your skills, write it out in step-by-step form, put this step-by-step into a Canva, upload the Canva document or the Canva JPEG up to PayHip, go on YouTube, watch tutorials on PayHip. It's a super easy self website that I learned. That's how I sell my fat loss guide. And that's it. Money portal open. You could do that 10 times with 10 different skills that you have. I know because I've done it. So you could and I'm not, when I tell you, I'm not kidding, that you could actually make, like, if you watch this at 8 in the morning, by 8 at night, you could have a book, and it doesn't have to be, an ebook is usually like 20 to 40 pages long. It doesn't have to be long. Set your price. Boom. So that I didn't want to, but I'm going to do a free complete tutorial on that. Like, I won't waver from the topic because this is more of a, like, we're getting ready for 2024 kind of vibe. But I didn't want to, I said I would tell you how to make an extra set of side income that I'm actually doing. You guys actually see me talking about it all the time. It's real. It's not fake. It's not like become a millionaire with, or a weird cheesy ad. It's like, no, I literally taught myself how to create an ebook. I uploaded it to Canva, put it in, played around with it, made an ebook, uploaded it to a website, and now I have a website, and now I have an ebook. And you can too. So, yeah, that's the gist. So just to sum it up, I know this is a long, juicy one, but we're getting in deep. This is not a joke. We're not doing fluff. 2024 is the year of 8. If you add up 2024 all together, it's 8, which is abundance, which is the infinity sign. So we're tapping into infinite intelligence. We are going to the next level. Okay. And as I level up, you're leveling up, you guys are leveling me up. It's like we're all in this together. So don't make goals, make objectives. Input will bring you an output. Stop leaking your time. That's the gist of the whole live. When you do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and do it with love, joy, fun, all of a sudden step 20 will be done, and now you have your own body of your dreams, or now you have your whatever it is. Don't set goals if the goals don't work for you. If that's too overwhelming, if it messes with you mentally, which I think it does for most people, it's almost like, you know what it is? It's almost like, I have my pillow hanging out on my Peloton. It's almost like when you go to set a goal, it's almost like there's an energy of like, oh, I already know I'm not going to really do this. Is anyone else like that? Like, not everybody, but like, I feel like the majority of society, there's like they just know they're not going to actually do it. It's just like, it's fun to set the goal. It's fun to doing the goal, writing the goal, talking about the goal is the satisfaction in itself. It's not the actual thing. It's not the actual achievement, right? Even though they do want the achievement, it's like, it's not, once they realize they actually have to do some stuff, they're like, ooh, okay, maybe I don't really want that goal, but I already got my dopamine hit from talking about our goals, right? So we're not doing goals this year. We're doing objectives, and we're gonna do input, and we're gonna get output. Input, output. That's it. What you get in, you get out. What you get in, you get out. What you get in, you get out. And all of a sudden you look back and you're like, wow, I now have 5 skills. Like, I now have the body of my dreams, or I now have my business, or I now have what maybe you're trying to get in a relationship. I now have the husband of my dreams. Like, but because you did the input, bettering yourself, self-development, maybe losing some weight to get confident so you can actually like, whatever it is. So, does anyone have any questions before I go and get some food? Because it's time. My stomach is growling like crazy. I did a 17-hour fast. So I think I want to start doing, I'm not committed yet, but I want to start doing a 24-hour fast at least every 2 weeks. And I just want to see what it does. I want to do it for 6 months and just for every 2 weeks, a 24-hour fast. There's so many benefits to intermittent fasting. Your body just taps in and starts cleaning out old raggedy cells that aren't doing anything. And so your body gives energy to pouring into things that you repair, right? Cellular repair or, cleaning up your system and things like that. So I'm on 17, but I'm hungry. So I'm going to go ahead and go. But for anyone watching this on the replay, make sure you subscribe, you like. It really does help my channel. It just does. I didn't make up the rules, but I know that when I watch people's stuff and I actually was like, oh, like I enjoyed that, I just forget to do the boop. It's just I'll be like so into the information that I'll forget about that little thumb that's there. But that's what it's there for. So if you've genuinely found value in this training, okay, it's a training on finding your purpose and your passion going into 2024. If you found value, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share with anyone that needs to see this, especially the younger people. Like, older people are already wise and already know how to tap into this information and start to do the work. But our younger folks, like, they need us bad. So anyone that, like that's 18, 19, 20, 21, they need to see this. Please send this to them. And yeah. All right, guys, have a beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.